Welcome back to Capybara Go, and today we are talking about the most important update in the game, the new mount and artifact system. So as you guys already know, we have the new option to equip the mount, to get the mount ride skills, and to get the transformation. And it might be confusing for the new players, moreover there are changes coming, so we will talk about all that in this video, and hopefully by the end of this one you will know how to properly use all that. So let's start with the mounts. Mounts and artifacts are kind of connected in a way that mounts represent additional health bar to your capybara. When you equip them in the deploy screen, they will be appearing in the combat in the order you've put here. Each of the mount has their own ride skill, and we won't talk about the best and the worst mounts right now. Probably we need another tier list for that a bit later and need some testing. But for now, I wouldn't recommend equipping the guys that doesn't have the mount skill, because those are actually pretty good. Although, on another hand, the higher rarity mount will have more life inheritance, which means more percentage of your player's life, and they will be harder to kill, and the higher they are, the higher their awakening, the higher rates. We'll talk about that right now. So, the mounts. Other than deploying them, you get the transformation ability, star up, the basic ability that adds not only the mount stats, but also the speed value. And the speed value represents the order of initiative in the battle. So basically, if you have higher speed than the enemy, you will get the first attack during the round, and it's essential, especially in the adventures when you get multiple hits, and that might be a difference between winning and losing, so you will need to try to increase it as high as possible. The thing is, just like the effects, the speed of all your mounts is being combined here, so it doesn't matter if you equip the mount or not, your speed will be added up. And when you log in after the update, you will need to unlock additional mounts that are the normal mounts over here. So now all those guys are not just cosmetics, they also add you stats over here. So let's unlock all of them, and they also add additional stats. And some of those give us global attack, some of those give us global HP. So they can be pretty useful, and they will make you a bit stronger now. Alright, we unlocked all of the guys right now. It added a bit to our combat power, and it increased our total speed to 81 from 53 or something. And basically, this is another reason right now to unlock even more mounts. And if you were hesitating before, like I didn't got the catastrophe before because I don't really need that global damage reduction and global defense, but now I need it for extra speed, especially in the PvP. You will still need to use one of the mounts as your riding mount. We have Diego here, and you still have to use the skill manually right here. So it's totally okay. You can mount, dismount, and select one of the skills. You can't select several skills, and the normal skills of your mount, they are not connected in any way with your ride skills of the mounts that are equipped for the combat. It gets a bit complicated and a bit confusing, but now you know that this bonus will stay no matter if your mount is alive or dead, so that stays, it wasn't removed, it will stay just like that. Each mount will get additional speed stat and will get awaken ability, which will increase life inheritance and the speed bonus. Basically, life inheritance is, as I said before, the percentage of your HP that mount has as its own, so it's basically additional life shield for you. Also, awakening increases the riding skill. Riding skill is being used when the mount is active, when it's your active mount, when you deploy it over here basically. And you can click preview to see how the skill will develop as you awaken the mount. And in order to awaken the mount, you will need cores of the mount, and they are separate from your star up mount copies that you use over here, because I got the Diego copy over here to get him to 1 star, and awakening wise we don't have any cores. Those can be acquired from the recent underwater adventure event, here from the exchange and from the prizes, and it might take a while for you to get them, but you might do it even as a free-to-play, especially with the reward chests. At 1.5k, you get an option to pick one of those. So if you haven't seen the video how to be really efficient at this event, you can go check it out, that will help you out. Another tip, really fast one, you don't need to rush it, just make sure that you complete and use all the resources by the end of the timer, because you don't get the daily bonuses here. So yeah, that's awakening, and my tip would be working on the mounts that you use first, and then on the rest of them, depending on how your speed is, because I think speed is a bit more important than the mounts themselves, because they die pretty fast, and that will be changed later on, by the way. Since we're here, I'll talk about that when we'll get to the mount's HP and the combat testing. I will show you how it will work in the future, so there are some really good info coming up. Now let's talk about the deploy. So basically the mount that you ride will add additional HP bar for you depending on the life inheritance, and then the mount that you ride will use its riding skill, and I would advise you guys to select the one that you like the most. And you can see all the details here in the transformation awakening menu, and in the deploy you get like simplified version. And yeah, right now not all mythic mounts have their skills available, and that means that you don't really want to get them right now other than for extra HP, which is not that much anyway. The difference between the mythic one and the legendary one is only 5%, so it doesn't matter that much. Another thing is that awakening the lower tier, lower rarity mount will be easier and cheaper. Those are easier to come by, so probably you will get extra bonuses from those, but their skills are not that great. My tip would be using the mythic mounts first. I really like the Toffee one. It's a bit random, but still pretty cool. Luminous Dragon is pretty much okay as well, but once again, we need way more thorough testing to figure it out. Laputa bonus is good as well. It gives us main character skill damage by 10%. That stacks up to 3 times and less until Laputa's death, which will happen pretty fast, I guess. We will take a look at that a bit later. So yeah, you equip your mounts over here and you are good to go. Basically, that's it. And only the current mount skill will be active during the fight, and when it dies, the next one will show up and you will use that skill, and then the third one. And when they're all gone, you will be playing normally, like without the mount, without those riding skills. But you will still get, once again, you will still get your equipped mount skill that you use over here. If you use it Diego, for example, for extra combo, it will still stay even if you don't use it Diego in the deploy or all your mounts are defeated. This is important. Next one are artifacts, and those are a bit different but kind of the same. They give you suppression option, which is increasing damage against enemy mounts. It's really good in PvP, in the tower, and in some chapters later on, in some game modes later on, let's put it like that. But in most cases it might be not as useful. The good thing about suppression that mounts will play more and more important role over time, so it will add up over time. Now for the transformation ability, it's the same stuff over here. As you upgrade as you awaken the artifacts, you will increase the suppression, that will increase the damage against the mounts, and attack inheritance of the artifacts. Artifacts are aggressive options. They don't add you HP, they attack enemies in turn. We'll talk about that in a second. Once again, same stuff, skills over here. You can take a look at all of those in the menu, and 3 of the artifacts don't have their skills yet, but the rest of them have everything that we need. I have the 3 basic ones. Same stuff, you can awaken them with the cores that can be acquired from the events as well. And yeah, unlike mounts, artifacts are being used in an order. So on the first turn, you will use the first artifact ability, on the second one, on the third one, and they will rotate just like that. They don't die, they don't take damage, and they will be active all the time. So you will just cycle through those options, so select the ones that will benefit your build the most. Right now, since I don't get that many options, I have the Demonic Eye and I have the Spear of Thor, and I'm glad that I have at least 2 mythic ones and they have their skills, and I get the normal artifact here as well, which is like not that bad to be honest. Increased damage by 10%, stackable up to 2 layers, lasts until the end of the battle. So that's 20% extra damage from the O/, which is pretty good, I think. I even think of putting this artifact as the first one, because this bonus will stay, and if you will start the fight with 10% extra damage, why the hell not? For the 2 other artifacts that I don't have right now, they will be based on the Light Spears and the Sword Chi. So Sky Splitting Slash might be good for people who use a Sky Splitter. That will increase the Sword Chi damage by 10% and stackable up to 10 layers, so that's like 100% extra, which is pretty good. But for the rest of us who don't use any of that, I think those 3 artifacts for now will be the better options, because the rest of them don't have the skills yet. So I will go in this order. I'll put the sword first, and the Cursed Eye second, and the Spear of Thor as the third one. I think this will be a good option. Now let's go and test it out, and you can actually see how it is right now and how it will change over time. I will do Dungeon Dive right now because why the hell not? We got the ugly boss here. I'm curious if we'll be able to take it out. I'll skip the boring parts though. We have two bosses in the end. That's already a fail as always. So there we go. We started the fight and we get the initiative check at the start. And as you can see, we are riding the mount right now. And that mount represents the current mount and the amount of health that it has. And as you can see, it's taking like half of its health in one normal enemy attack. Now we have the artifacts being used every turn doing their things. We have the buff from the sword over here for 10% extra damage. This is the spear. They look pretty cool, to be honest. But I think that our mount will get its ass kicked right before the boss. And the thing is, right now, in the current state of the game, if your mount is defeated, it will not appear during this chapter. My god, they have such a high speed, so they go first all the time. So yeah, if your mount is defeated, it will be out until the end of the run right now, but in the next update, it will be changed. We will get something like this. The Stone Spirit event adjustment, I'm not sure which one is that, revives and restores 30% HP to all the mounts. Elite and boss battle optimization revives and restores 30% to all the mounts after the battle. So if our mount is defeated and we fight through elite or the boss stage, that will give us revival and 30% of their HP. And dungeon dive mechanic optimization, upon passing the floor, all mounts revive and recover 100% HP. So that means as we go through the dungeon, if we defeat the boss of the floor, on the next floor we will get our mounts back, and that's pretty cool. With the full HP, by the way. And it also seems that our recovery options work on the mount as well. This is really funny. It just jumps from the mount in order to run around. And even if our mount is damaged, okay, our healing options will recover mount's HP as well, which is pretty cool. I gotta test it more. So right now it's really damaged, right? We have the shield that's protecting us and the mount as well, which is cool. But I want to see if we'll recover the mount's health. Yeah, it worked. So our first mount is defeated. And why we don't get our second mount right now? Come on, there we go. Toffee. So yeah, they will cycle, and now we get the candies from the toffee, and that's how it will work. So I advise you to use your most liked mount as the first one, especially if it has the shield or something like that. And I'm really curious if we'll be able to beat those bosses. That will give us a small boost. Oh my god, the mounts are getting decimated really fast. And their bonuses are gone as well, so we didn't get the candies or anything. Yeah, I don't think it will work like that, my god. The speed multiplier doesn't work right now, it's currently a bug, so don't worry about that. Where's my ×4 multiplier? And yeah, we got massacred as always with the poison damage, so it didn't really help us that much in the dungeon dive. Although I think Tower Challenge will be the area where you will benefit the most from the new update, and probably the chapter after the next update when your mounts will resurrect after the elite enemies. Because right now, if you go to the chapter, your mounts will most likely die way before the final boss. So let's take a look. We have a goblin. Let's take a look how strong it is. We get more initiative, which is pretty nice. We're attacking. And how much damage will the goblin do? I haven't played chapter for a while, and we get the shield, so it's not really easy to see. Let's get a bit forward. Let's fast forward a little bit when we will get some mount damage and that kind of stuff. And yeah, I think against the bosses like Vampire and the ones that are really healing themselves, the bonuses of the artifact that will increase the damage will be way more important than their normal attacks. So yeah, I think that will be really beneficial for the most players who have issues with them. For the overall effect of the artifacts in the mount system on the gameplay, I would say that for the most players who are not hardcore and who don't care about PvP, it will help them to progress a bit more, because you can still be a bit stronger, you will get extra health, those are nice features, they are fun. But if we'll take PvP into account and the balance with the whales, no guys, you will have even harder time. The problem is that in PvP, the enemy will have their mounts and their artifacts. And if they are paid to win, they will have them leveled up. So they will do extra damage to your mounts and their mounts will be tougher. Your mounts will die way faster during the PvP. That means that you won't have those extra benefits, and the enemy's mounts will be way harder to overcome by the normal means, I think. This is just speculation because I'm not a high-level PvP player anyway. Let me know what do you think about that in the comments. And I think in PvP, the Pain players will get even more advantage right now because of the mount system. That seems like the case, and if the arena PvP is sort of okay, I'm more worried about the guild wars. In the guild wars, it will make a huge difference and the whales will be even harder to take out. So yeah, I don't know how it will play out in the long term, but I'm a bit worried that the game is taking a bit too many turns toward pay-to-win options, and I hope it will change soon, because even as I'm playing right now, spending about 200 USD every month, it's still not enough. Yes, I'm in like top 3, top 5 of my server, which is pretty much dead by now because it's been like a couple of months. But on the overall competition in the arena, for example, in the Masters League, the top ranking, whatever it's called, I'm on the spot 20 to 30, which is like weird because that's supposed to be higher for someone who pays that much. So I guess the whales are there who pay way more, and they will decimate you guys. But yeah, on another hand, if you don't take game that seriously, after all, it's a mobile game and you can just enjoy it and play it how you want it. Those are nice features. They are cool. They will allow you to customize your players even more. I really like the effects of the mounts and the artifacts in the combat. They look fantastic. Look at that. Bam, bam. It looks very shiny and actually adds a lot to the immersion. I really like that. The problem is that pay-to-win players, the whales, will exploit all the mechanics they can to get stronger. Not like we had a chance before, though. So if you are free-to-play right now, playing the game for like, I don't know, whatever, week, month, half a year, whatever, you will never be able to catch up with the whales anyway. So you can play at your own pace and keep playing. It's a still pretty cool game. There are some really good quality of life improvements with the recent patch as well. Like you can pull multiple eggs right now when you pull in for the pets, so you don't have to click them multiple times, which is really nice. So yeah, overall, I like this change. It adds a lot of variety to the game, more strategic options. I can make more content about the artifacts and the mounts right now, and I will do that. Let me know what exactly do you want to see in the comments down below. And while I was talking, we lost our first mount. So the second mount is taking the damage right now. It's damage to the very low health. And I think we can recover that, but yeah, our lifesteal actually works for the mounts as well. So, but we lost it anyway. On around 4 of 30 to 2 slimes. And now we get our last mount here. This is surprisingly painful and really easy to lose your guys. And those are not even far. We're at, well, Raid Shield, that's great. We're at day 20 out of like, I don't know, I think this one is like 40-day adventure. So by the end of this adventure, our mounts will die. But again, once this update will go live, first of all, elite and boss battle optimization will help us to restore our mounts, and then the Stone Spirit. I think the Stone Spirit is the event that's happening before the final boss, where you can upgrade your skill for 5% of your HP. I'm not entirely sure. And if you can resurrect your mounts right before the boss fight with at least 30% of HP, that would be pretty cool. And all my mounts are dead on the second boss, on the third one. On this boss, basically, and now I'll have to fight without them, like, normally. And yeah, their bonuses, even if it stays, like, until the end of the battle for the Laputa, it's gone once the mount is gone, so yeah. But we still, as you can see, we still get the Diego buff, so it works. Don't worry about that. And we get extra bonuses from the artifacts that will stay with us. So overall, I would say it's a buff to your progression, but in terms of competition, you will still get a bit more behind the whales, like, not like you could catch up anyway unless you will spend more money, so whatever. So yeah, guys, that's everything I wanted to tell you about the mount system and artifact system changes right now. Let me know what do you think about all that in the comments. Do you think it's pay to win? Do you think it's pretty good? Do you like it? And yeah, check out the video description for the playlist for the rest of the videos. I cover the recent events and I'll cover the tier list and everything. We will get even more info on the new update over there. Check out the wiki. I will add the info over there. If you can help with that, I would appreciate that. And other useful stuff over there, like ALD players, you can play it on the PC like I do over here. By the way, how do you like the new camera angle? Do you feel it's better, or I should put it a bit higher like it was before? Because now when I take a look at the screen, you can see my eyes at least. It's not like I'm sleeping. Other than that, thank you very much for watching. It's been Stan Kosh. Have a good one. Bye.